Hello everyone, welcome to the new class of biology. The previous classes we discussed about the two main laws of Mendel, law of dominance and law of segregation. We discussed about both these laws, and both these laws only depend upon the monohybrid cross. Both of these laws mainly depended upon the monohybrid cross. Today's class we will discuss about how or what law is being based on a dihybrid cross, because Mendel did both experiments on both type of tests. One is the monohybrid test cross, where only one character was taken and one trait was taken, and in dihybrid cross two characters or two traits were taken at a time. So we will discuss about that, about how Mendel took it and what are the scenarios that happened. So first let's discuss what is actually law of independent assortment. Okay, so what does law of independent assortment states? It states that when two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of character is independent of the other pair of character. Which means if we are taking a trait where if we are taking two pair of traits, earlier we took actually one pair of trait, right? Earlier we actually took one pair of trait, either we took TT or capital T or small t. These were the pair of traits we usually took, right? Now in the law of independent assortment, what he, for stating this law, what he did a dihybrid cross, in which dihybrid cross in which what he actually did, he took two pair of characters, two alleles or two pair of characters for his experiment. So we will discuss about that. For his experiment he took a round yellow seed, a round yellow seed with a genotype capital R for round and capital Y for yellow. That was actually round yellow seed. And he also took another uh, thing, wrinkled green seed, with whose genotype was small r for wrinkled and small y for uh, green. And we are well aware about the fact that this is the dominant character, this is the recessive character, and for the color, and if we consider about the, sorry, for the shape and for the color, this is the dominant character yellow and this is the recessive character green, right? Now he took it as a parental generation. He took it in the parental generation, round yellow, capital R, capital Y, and crossed it with the homozygous recessive character, wrinkled green, small r, small y, small y. Do not write it together, write it differently. Okay. Now, what actually he tried to mean from the law of independent assortment is that segregation happens definitely, because law of segregation states that segregation will happen. Now if segregation is to happen, then this R may depend upon this, means this shape can depend upon the color. It could be possible in this situation. Also this shape, the wrinkle shape, can depend upon this green color. This can be also possible. But what he stated, this both processes, the color depending upon both these processes, the color depending upon these characters, the color depending upon the characters is actually totally independent. It do not depend each other. If the color is being segregated, it will be segregated separately. sorry, if the shape is segregated, it will be separated separately. If the color is separated, it will be separated separately. How? We will just see that. As we took, we will take round yellow and wrinkled green. Now according to segregation, what will happen? One of the pair will come out of them. So from these both, one pair will come out, capital R. These both, one pair will come out, capital Y. This is the gamete from this particular genotype. And what about this? What gamete will you get from this genotype? You will get small r and you will get small y, right? Now you will have to form the F1 generation. So what will be the F1 generation from this particular scenario? What would you get? You will get it as capital no, you will get it as capital R small r capital Y small I, like a heterozygous condition, right? Capital R small r capital Y small I. What was this one? This was round yellow. What was this one? This was wrinkled green. Two different type of seeds he took, round yellow seed and wrinkled green seed. What will be the genotype, I mean what will be the phenotype of this generation? What will be it? The phenotype of this generation will be definitely round yellow, right? The phenotype of this will be, this F1 generation will be round yellow. So that's what happened in the round yellow. Okay, now if we consider about the selfing process for the formation of F2 generation, we have to take the F2 generation. We will take the selfing of this particular capital R small r capital Y small y. It will be self with capital R small r capital Y small y, self cross we can say. And from them we will get, according to segregation, different gametes we will obtain, capital R capital Y and capital R capital Y. We got it. Small r capital Y, sorry, small r capital Y, that also we got. And now capital R small y, so it will be capital R small y. And what about the next one? Next one will be small r small y, small r small y. This will be the gamete that we will get from the crossing process of one part. Similarly you will get it from here also, capital R capital Y, small r capital Y, capital R small y and small r small y. Now from this we will, after self cross, we will get the F2 generation. For F2 generation we had taken in the previous one that the number of gametes will actually give you a particular idea of how much number of F2 generation you will get, because in previous cases you took capital T small t cross with capital T small t, right? You just crossed it, you took different gametes, capital T small t. From here you took capital T small t and you just made a box, 4x4 box. You put capital T here, small t here, capital T here, small t here. One of them will be male and the other will be female. This is how you mate. This is how you usually mate. That's because you had 4 gametes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many gametes in this case you have? In the total, if you consider, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have in total 8 gametes. Means in total if you have 8 gametes, then you will have a 16 number of F2 generation. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4x4 box you have to make, right? So you will make that 4x4 box. You will make that 4x4 box. Sorry, this color is mismatching. You will make a 4x4 box. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A 4x4 box. I think we can make it much bigger, right? Yeah. 4 by 4 box. 1 2 3, 1 2 3. So these are the 4 by 4 box that you can make, right? So you will have to make that 4 by 4 box which is made here. I think it's better that I show it here. The 4 by 4 box. 3 4, right? Now if we consider the thing, we have gametes over here, we will take the male gamete on one side and we will take the female gamete on the other side, right? Now we will try to write it down. If you consider the first placement, capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, what can you write in the first box? Capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. That is what you can write in the first box, right? That you have written in the first box. What is capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y? It is round yellow, right? Similarly, capital R, capital Y, small r, capital Y. What it will be? Capital R and small r. With that, capital Y, capital Y. You have round dominant and you have yellow, so it will be also round yellow. Similarly, next one, capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y. So capital R and capital Y, small y. What it will be? It will also be round yellow, right? Because round is dominant here, yellow is dominant here still. Okay, what next? Next one, capital R, capital Y, small r, capital small y. So capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Still it will be round yellow because round and yellow is dominant here, right? Now next one, capital R, sorry, small r, capital Y, and with these gametes. So it will be capital, I think it's better I write with that same color. Yeah. Capital R, small r, and capital Y, right? It will be also round yellow because round and yellow is dominant here, right? Next box, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, capital Y. So it will be small r, and both capital Y, capital Y. What will it be? We have recessive character, so it will be wrinkled, and you have dominant character color yellow, wrinkled yellow. The seed will be wrinkled yellow, right? Next, what it is? Capital small r, capital Y, and capital R, small y, right? So what it will be? Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, right? What it will be? It will be round yellow that we had mentioned here. It is round yellow, right? Next, small r, capital Y, small y, small r, capital Y, small y. What it will be? It will be wrinkled yellow, right? It will be wrinkled yellow. I am writing it out of the box so that you can understand it more clearly. It doesn't mean that you have to write it out of the box. Okay. Next one, next gamete we will consider. We will consider the next gamete, capital R, small y, capital R, small y. So consider the next gamete, capital R, small y, with capital R, capital Y. So what it will be? Capital R, capital Y, small y, right? It will be round yellow. Fine. Next, capital R, capital Y, small y, round yellow, no doubt, right? Next, capital R, small y, write it differently. So you have round color with green seed, not yellow seed, green seed, round green. That's what the color is, and that's what the shape is. Okay, so that's happened here. Next one, so this is over, this one, capital R, small y, what it will be? you have round shape dominant and color will be green, round green. That's right, round green. Yeah, okay. So this part also completed. Now the next part is this gamete. This gamete will have same process as we have done here. What it will be, capital R, capital Y, small y, round yellow, right? Next one, this one again, small r, capital Y, small y. What it will be? It will be wrinkled Y dominant, so wrinkled yellow, right? Yes, okay, wrinkled yellow. Next one, this one again. This one again. Capital R, small y, small y. Always write the dominant character first. That is necessary, that is important. Always write the dominant character first. Do not write the recessive character very first, because sometimes you might see small r at first, but do not write that. Okay. So what type of it is? What type it is? It is a round green, right? Round green. Next one, this one, small r, small y, small y. What it will be? Wrinkled and color recessive, so wrinkled green color, right? Now this is the F2 generation that we had got. This is the F2 generation that we had got. 16 gametes, 16 F2 gametes possibilities that we had got here. Now what about the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of this particular species that we had got? We will consider the phenotypic and genotypic ratio. So if we consider the phenotypic and genotypic ratio, what will be the phenotypic ratio? How many round yellow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 round yellow. Right, 9 round yellow. Next one, if we consider wrinkled yellow, how many wrinkled yellow? 1, 2, 3. 3 wrinkled yellow. 3 wrinkled yellow. Next, if we consider what is round green, 1, 2, 3. 3 round green. And the only one left is which one? Only one left is round wrinkled green, which is only one. So we can say the phenotypic ratio of this particular thing is 9:3:3:1, which is totally different from the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross, which has 3:1 as ratio, right? Round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, wrinkled green, right? This is how the phenotypic ratio occurred, and total it will be 16. Now what about the genotypic ratio? Actually I had tried you to give a genotypic ratio by yourself. I think it's better you find it by yourself. Genotypic ratio, I will show you one among them. Genotypic ratio, suppose I consider this genotype, small r, capital Y, small y. You can take it in any ways. So what is the genotypic ratio of this? Means how many such type or such has occurred in this full box. That's we have to count it out. So if we count it out properly, we will have small r, capital Y, 1. Then any more small r starting? Yes, but not capital Y, small y. So it means the small r, capital Y, small y is actually 1, and here it is 2. So I have this genotype 2 in number. Similarly, you will find all the genotypes of the specific one mentioned here. Each and every one's genotype you will mention, and you will find out the ratio. I believe that you will get a ratio in such a way: 1:2:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. This will be the ratio of what you will find. You try to find out by yourself. Okay. That's all about the class. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you. Have a nice day.